Welcome back to Math Time with Mr. T. Thank you for clicking on the video. I'm happy that you are here. I'm trying to expand on your math knowledge. Today we're going to be talking about the cost of attending college. Cost of college, as I break it down right here. We're just going to go ahead and jump in. Y'all know how I like to get things rolling and just get this ball moving pretty quickly. So, what is exactly, you know that ain't right. What exactly is the cost of college, right? What is that? When you are planning for college, because that's what we're talking about when we talk about the cost of college, when we're planning for college, one of the things that we need to take in consideration is how much it's going to cost. Now, a lot of times you can go to whatever college that you want to go to's website, and those are very easy to find. So me being here in Texas and being a graduate from Stephen F. Austin State University, Action Dax, that was weird, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But me being from SFA, I know that I can get online and search up that school's website. So for me, if I wanted to say, if I didn't go to college and I wanted to go to college and I wanted to go to SFA, I could type in cost of attending Stephen F. Austin State University, and it gives you a very straightforward breakdown of how much it actually costs to go to those schools or to SFA. But you can also search whatever school it is that you want to go to. Some schools are cheaper than, let's say, like SFA is probably a lot cheaper than going to Harvard or Yale or something like that. And I'm just using those two. I don't know how much it costs to go to those, but I do know that like private schools, privately owned colleges are a little bit more expensive than like the public owned ones. I don't even know if they're publicly owned, but whatever. Anyway, so you can get, excuse me, you can get on those school websites and find out how much it's going to cost. But y'all know that I am not here to tell you that. What I'm here to tell you is the math behind those things. I think I may want to change this to the math behind blank. But anyway, let's keep moving forward. So the cost of college, what are the things that they typically include? All right, so to just get this thing, the first thing that you'll be, one of the first things that you'll be finding out is how much the tuition and fees are. Now what tuition and fees are is basically how much money it actually costs to take each class, right? And the fees for said classes, right? That's going to be one of the first things that you need to find out. How much money is the actual classes for me to go to whatever school I want to go to. The next thing that you're going to be finding out is the cost of your books and your supplies, right? So also, when you decide, okay, I am going to go to this school, this number right here, my tuition and fees aren't astronomical and I can afford it maybe, or I really want to go to the school. Now I have to pick a program that I'm going to be in, and once I pick that program, I need to find out what books and supplies I'm going to need and how much those books are going to cost, right? The next thing that we will be trying to add or find out how much it is our food. Everyone needs to eat, right? So the food. Sometimes you get your food from being on campus, like dining halls and stuff like that. There's also like those times that you go out to eat. Food incorporates all of that, right? Anytime that you eat, your food will be calculated. And these calculations that they're doing is typically an average. It doesn't take someone who eats more than someone else or less than someone else. It's just an average. And if you don't know how to do average, you can go back to another video called Mean, Median, and Mode and find out how to solve for average. Anyway, that was a selfish plug. The next thing that you'll need to know is your personal expenses. Right? Your personal expenses. And those are just things that you buy. Anything that you can consider, anything that you're going to be buying throughout the year. That can be hair products, video games, clothes, any of that kind of stuff. I need a new fan for my dorm room. I need a refrigerator for my dorm room. I need soap. I need toothbrushes. I need toothpaste. I need deodorant. Any of those kind of things are your personal expenses that you're going to be paying for when you are off to college all by yourself, right? And the last thing that I'll just touch on is this right here, transportation. Anyway, so transportation is exactly what it says. Like, some schools offer people who live off campus transportation. At SFA, there was a bus that you could ride from certain dorms in certain areas in the city of Nacogdoches, where Stephen F. Austin is. If you haven't been, go. It's a beautiful place. Anyway, so they have buses that will transport you to different buildings. Well, when I was there, to different buildings. And the bigger the campus is, the more likely they have those transportation options. But also, if you buy a car and you have expenses for your car, these are, like I say, these are things that they're averaging out. This isn't the guy who I'm being rude when I say this, but the guy whose parents buy him a $70,000 car, and he doesn't have to pay for. Let me not get into all of that. Anyway, if you have a car and you have to pay for maintenance and insurance and gas and things like that, that's transportation, but also your campus transportation, right? Those are the things that we're going to be totaling for our cost of college. Now that we have an understanding of what each one of these things is and how we're actually coming to understand what the cost of our attending whatever college it is, let's go ahead and put some numbers behind this stuff. So let's say we're going to a college, and I want to pick a school for us to go to. Let's think. I know what school you're going to be going to. You're going to be going to Mr. T's College of Math and Stuff University. MTC-MSU. That's the name of my college, and that's the one you're going to. So let's find out. Let's put some numbers behind this college right here. The average student at Mr. Thomas College Mr. T's College is let's say $6,000. This is going to be for 1 year, right? $6,000, $6,520, right? And our average book cost for our average students is $842. We use the finest of books at MTC MSU, and for food, let's say you spend about $2,100 on food in a year, and personal expenses $2,000. That seems about fair. And lastly, transportation to get around our amazing campus. We have segways and hoverboards and slides. That'd be fun. A slide on campus, that'd be cool. Anyway, for transportation, we're only charging you $750. That's how much you're gonna pay for 1 year at MTC MSU. Okay, so now we have the numbers behind it. Now, how do we figure out the cost of attending this school with all those numbers involved? Is it multiplication? Is it division? No. Subtraction? No. It's the simplest form of math. To me, the simplest form of math there is. It is addition. We're just adding these numbers all together, and that'll give us the total cost for 1 year. Right? So, pause the video, add these up, and let's see if you get the total cost of 1 year for attending MTC MSU. After you've done all of your math on this, you were just finding out how much the total cost was. You added all of this up, and you should have come up with $12,212 for 1 year at MTC MSU. I'm gonna have to remember that because I'm gonna use that forever now. Anyway, so that's how much money it's going to cost for you to go to MTC MSU for 1 year. However, this is the total cost. However, MTC MSU is not no ordinary 1 year college. It isn't a 1 year college. It isn't a 2 year college. This is a university. Man, this is a 4 year university. But let's just pretend for our sake that it is a 2 year college, 2 year university. Okay. One of the things that colleges also will tell you is how much the attendance will rise, right? Like not attendance will rise, how much the cost for your cost of college, how much it will actually rise. And the way that they do that is by giving you a percent and telling you, well, typically this area or this will rise by this much percent. What I mean by that is, excuse me, I'm gonna use tuition. In year one, this was how much everything cost. But in year two, after during your second year, your tuition will rise 4%. Right? Now we're dealing with, this is going to be more than that in year two, right? And let's also add 4% to our books. Our books will also go up 4%, right? So we have these two things right here. Now, if you don't remember how to solve multiplication problems with a percent, you need to go back and watch the beginning of the simple interest and compound interest video, and it tells you about changing these percents to decimals. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this right here, right? But I want you to understand, because this is a 4% increase, this number is going to be going up, but we're not multiplying by 4 or 0.04. We actually have to take that number here, which is 100% of what it is, and understand that it's going to go up. Our 100% is going up 4%, right? So actually this number that we're going to be multiplying our tuition and books and fees by is going to be 104%. That is our increase. It's a 104% increase. How do we change this number into a decimal? You already know. So we're going to be multiplying this number here, the 6,000 and the 800 by 1.04 and 1.04 here as well. Now, when we do this, we're going to multiply these numbers right here, and we're going to have a new number for tuition and a new number for books and fees. But then we're still going to do the same thing we did to get this number right here. We're going to take whatever this equals, and we're kind of running into each other right here. So I'm going to erase all of this. And I need to put that $12,000 down here so you remember this number right there for year one. But we're going to take these two numbers here. When we multiply this, we're going to have a new number, and we're going to have a new number here. So what I want you to do is go ahead and pause the video and find out what those numbers are. But after you do that, you're going to get these numbers here, and you're going to add up the food, your personal expenses and transportation to your new tuition and fees and your new books and supplies. So go ahead and pause the video and find out what these two numbers is, and then go ahead and add them all up and find the answer for how much money it would cost for year two. Pause. You didn't press pause, did you? So if you did your math correctly and you multiplied your original tuition by your 4% and your original books and supplies by 4%, you would have gotten this right here, $6,780.80. For your books, your new number would have been $875.68. Your food, your personal expenses, and your transportation would have stayed the same. And once you added all of that up, your year two cost for attending MTC MSU would have been $12,506.48. Then to find out how much the total cost of this is, because that's still what we're trying to find out, the total cost of going to this school for 2 years is $24,718.48. That's it, right? But I do want to bring one more thing to your attention before I let y'all go. Let's just say our school, MTC MSU, went out, and it is a 4-year university, and it gave us this number here, right, as the cost for attending for 1 year. And then they told us that the cost for attending for your second year, the cost normally rises Let's change that from a total of 4% and change that to the cost of attendance. And I'm going to erase it so you can see what I'm talking about. I need to keep some of this stuff up here. I need to keep this up here, but I'm going to erase the rest of this stuff here. So hopefully you either wrote that down or, of course, you can just rewind. Let's just go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and erase it all, right? I'm going to erase it all, but I need to keep that number right there, that $12,000. So let's just say that our MTC MSU 1 year costs this amount of money, right? That's the cost of attending for 1 year, right? Cost of attending, cost of college, right? So perfect, I wrote it under there. But after 1 year, and I can erase it right here, after 1 year, they say the second year typically costs, second year, or each year for your 4 years, it's always going to increase 2.5%, right? When it increases this way, when it tells you the entire tuition will or the cost of attending increases by this much each year, now you can get rid of all of that other the books, the transportation. You can get rid of all that, and you can just take that total cost, and now we can just increase the total cost by our percent. And still, we're not using 2.5. We're adding our percent to our 100. So it's 102.5%. And of course, y'all know that we can't use this. So we're going to move our decimal over, 1.025. And now we're going to multiply the cost at year one. We're going to multiply our year one cost by 1.025, right? So now that we have this, we're going to multiply this up. So go ahead and pause this, and we're going to just try to figure out how much it costs to go to MTC MSU for all 4 years, right? So again, you're going to multiply this right here, and whatever answer you get here, and I'm kind of telling you what you're going to be doing, so you can actually probably pause it and go all the way to the end. But this number is going to go here, right? And we'll call this number A, right? So you're going to take A and you're going to multiply it by 1.025 as well. And then you're going to have B, right? So this is the cost after, this cost is after 2 years. So year 2, year 3, and year 4 here. So B now becomes, I'll put a C. B goes here. We're still using the same 1.025 to get our cost for C. So you're going to go ahead for year C, your 4th year, right? It's going to cost you this much money. You're still multiplying it there, and this is the answer that you'll have. So you'll have the cost for year 2 is here, the cost for year 3 is here, and the cost for year 4. I don't know what I was doing. The cost for year 4 is actually here. So now you have year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and you're going to add here, A, B, and C. You're going to add all of those up. So you're going to add year 1, A, B, and C together to get your total cost. Okay, so go ahead now. Hopefully you didn't pause it when I had year 4 up there. But go ahead now and pause it and solve all of this. After you pause it, you'll get your answer there. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to solve A, B, C, and then I'll give you your total cost for MTC MSU, right? So if you did your math correctly, multiplying this right here, your $12,212 by your 1.025, you would have gotten this for your A, $12,517.30. What I did here, I didn't have the space. Y'all know I'll be running out of space, so I did not write what that was. I just put A so you know that that's what A equaled. And I took my A and I multiplied it by my same percent increase here. I multiplied that 12,517 30 cent by that, and I got $12,830.23. That was our B. Then I multiply B, which is that number, by 1.025, and finally, and I did some rounding here, by the way. So if you got a different number right there, and you didn't round it, you should still kind of be in this ballpark. But if I round it because that's kind of what I do, and that's what you should do anyway. You dealing with money, round to the nearest 10. Anyway, so I multiplied and I got $13,151. It was actually $13,150.99. If you round it correctly, it was like 9.9 or 9.89, and I just rounded and it was 99, and I rounded the 99 to 1. That's how I got that number here. And then all I did from there is I went year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and this is my total cost for going to MTC MSU. So that is basically how you solve for a cost of college. Or if you don't know, that's how they give you your numbers of how much it's going to cost to go to said college for 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, and stuff like that. And I do want you to understand something real quick. This is my last note. I didn't, I took a little longer to graduate college because I was kind of going through it slowly. This is just my personal opinion. It's best to get it done as fast as possible, and this is why. Look at how much it increases. I know it doesn't seem like that much, but when you start paying that stuff back, go back to the video and see what I'm talking about, repaying loans. When you actually get to the repaying part, that couple $100 does make a difference. So it is good for you to just go ahead and knock it out in 4 years, like they say, or the recommended 4 years. Don't like drag it out if you're if you're living on campus and stuff like that, because it'll make your college experience, it'll make it linger, which may be fun for some people, like hanging around like the college atmosphere. But also, if you're paying money, it's going to grow a lot every year that you stay at in college. Anyway, that's all for today. If you have any questions, of course, go ahead and drop that question down there. And don't forget to hit the like button if you like this, and subscribe, of course, because I'm always going to be giving you new math information to make your math life better. Cost of college, and that's it. Peace.